If you're educated, unemployed, and wondering why the system has failed you, you're not alone. India is heading into a full blown career crisis, and you need to understand why before it is too late. If you thought China was competitive because of cheap labor, think again. Robots do a large percentage of all manufacturing. This is bad news for India because we were relying on manufacturing to create jobs by giving incentives like PLI. Reuters has reported that India is going to scale back the PLI scheme due to performance not being as per expectations. So, what does this mean for the ongoing jobs crisis in India? It is not just the blue collar and semi skilled market that is facing challenges. The threat of AI looms large over white collar workers. Indian IT giants have already started reducing headcounts, and Indian engineering colleges are struggling to place their graduates. India is facing a snowballing career crisis. If this is not stemmed in the bud, the implications are increased crime, economic distress, and overall misery and poor quality of life. So, what does this mean for the economy? And more importantly, what does it mean for you as an individual? If you're unemployed and watching this video in English, chances are that you are recently educated and know your way around the internet. Chances of an Indian youth being unemployed after college education are actually higher than someone who only has primary or secondary education. But why is that? In India, we equate being employed with having a job or working for an employer. However, we need to shift our mindset from working for someone to working for generating an income. The fact is that there is no way an economy of India's size can sustain and generate jobs for all the college educated graduates. Our government, which runs a perpetual deficit and focuses on the welfare for the bottom 10%, is unlikely to provide a solution, apart from some token hiring in government jobs. A parallel narrative that runs is that India youth is not skilled. Well, the fact is that skills and jobs are symbiotic. You cannot be an expert petroleum engineer when there are no petroleum rigs to work in your country. What good is your theoretical expertise in semiconductors if there are no design firms or semiconductor fabs in your market? Skills are not acquired in vacuum by reading textbooks. You need to have the supporting infrastructure to tinker, experiment, and learn. What people always focus on is the pull model, where the kids who have the right skills will be absorbed by the industry. But the reality of the world is, when industry creates demand for skills that pay well, people will gravitate towards those skills and find these roles. Necessity is the mother of invention. All that is left for a country like India is services. And let's be honest, just providing services to each other will never create intellectual property that creates any lasting advantage in the modern world. What is worse, it lulls you into a false sense of security and takes away your risk taking ability by dangling the carrot of sustainable dollars. So far, the Indian story was one of dollar rupee arbitrage. Most of the experts, as well as high paying careers, were created in the IT and IT enabled services. Unfortunately, the Indian IT industry, which generates over $20 billion in cash flows every year, could not spare some of it to develop an indigenous LLM or even a local flavor of Linux. All that they have achieved is concentrating all the tech talent in 3 or 4 cities, which are becoming more and more unlivable with every passing day. On the flip side of job demand is the supply of job seekers, and this is not coming in slow. 10 lakh graduates are being poured into the market looking for jobs. This is not only turning India into an employer's market, but it is also making competition insufferable. When your only differentiation is working more hours for maximum billing, don't be surprised when there is a queue of people happy to work double the number of hours at half your rate. And then you have all the external factors. India has a deeply corrupt political and bureaucratic ecosystem. The credit penetration is not high enough, and the general physical environment is degrading at an alarming rate. And there are no creative solutions being implemented at war scale to solve these problems. The worst victims of these unsafe and unhygienic outdoors are women. India's women labor force participation is lower than Bangladesh and at one point was even lower than Afghanistan. One escape route that was available to a small slice of population was immigration. But that window is becoming smaller and resistance in other countries to immigrants is increasing. So, is it all doom and gloom? Well, not really. Human beings have the amazing capability of changing their environment and altering their circumstances. Every crisis is an opportunity. And what is needed is a mindset shift, going from becoming wage earners to revenue generators, from being employment seekers to self employed and employment generators. This is not just a rant but a call to action. I explore one of the pathways that make people self employed by becoming SEBI-registered investment advisors. If that is something that piques your curiosity, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. I also have a Telegram group where I connect with like-minded people who are on a similar journey. You can join the Telegram group and get all the details from there. If you like this video so far, thank you for watching leave a comment, and don't forget to like and subscribe.